Welcome to the Footy Super Show. And now, here's Will and Sam.
Welcome back to episode 6 of the Footy Super Show. You may be wondering why I'm in the hot seat. Unfortunately, the big fella Will, he's not with us tonight. He's come down with a bit of a flu. Man flu, they're telling me. So we wish the big fella all the best, but have no fear. We've replaced him pretty quickly. So our special guest who was supposed to join us earlier in the show, for all you listening last weekend, was going to be Benny McGlynn, and how lucky we are to have him with us for majority of the show. So for those at home, put your hands together for Benny. Welcome, mate.
Thanks, Sam.
Good luck to the people listening at home tonight, because you've got to listen to my voice, not Will's. So hopefully we can get through this okay. But we've got a huge show coming up. We're going to look at the week that was, the movers and sliders of the competition. We're starting to get a bit of a formation happening with some results. Defender of the week, huge segment, Benny, you'll love. It's Will's little baby, so he loves his defenders. We'll look at the ladder overview and obviously our tipping competition, which, if you haven't heard, there is some severe consequences on the line, mate. So there's a lot to get through. Let's get into this week's show. We're going to preview all last week's results. So we'll take a look at some of the highlights from the round 4 matches, courtesy of our friends at the SFNL and their naming rights sponsor, Barry Plan. Let's take a look at Merbein and the Imperials here. Cracking game at number 3 over, which was fantastic. Hooker, another huge day. 29 disposals, 14 rebound 50s. Huge. Benny, you've seen these guys firsthand. What are your thoughts on them?
Yeah, very exciting. Damien Hall's got them up and going. Their ball movement's pretty electric. But yeah, obviously another great win by them.
Huge, mate. I actually tipped them too. So, Will, if you're at home listening, mate, suck eggs, unlucky. One to me. But we'll just have a look at Bedford here too. Another one of their recruits, which has been, or who's been outstanding this year. Another 28 disposals, 80 inside 50s and a sausage CO with it. So they've got some done recruits, mate.
Yeah, as we see here, Lockyer as well. He's obviously kicked the 4 goals, but they've recruited well in the off-season. Bedford, I think there's two Bedfords running around. Yep. We were lucky that Bedford was a little bit quiet against us previous weeks, but Lockyer had 3-5 or something, so he let us off the hook. But yeah, damaging forward line, good strong midfield, Merbein, so they'll upset a few this year.
They're kicking some goals, and Regan Scott, who's gone forward this year, 4 goals too for the big fella, which was nice. So Merbein up and about, Imps with some work to do there. Cracking game this one, fantastic result for the mighty D's, which was good, but pretty fierce contest down there at Henshelwood Oval. Huge game here by Thrummy. Again, 31 disposals, mate. He racks it up every week.
Yeah, he does. He definitely makes you think in the coach's box, whether you send someone to him or you just do a team role, but quality player, has been for a number of years.
Mitch Rogerson somehow has a truckload of space every week. I don't know how he keeps getting away with it.
Well, it's the best position in the field now, playing half back.
He's at another 24 kicks, 10 handballs.
Yep, you're meant to man up the half forwards, but they don't do it these days. So, definitely good player, Rojo. But yeah, pretty.
This bloke went around on the weekend.
He's a can.
I didn't put that in there, by the way, just for you people at home watching. But a young kid here, Blundy, though, who I got to watch firsthand on the weekend. He's only 17, I think, Pioneers kid. 4 goals, though, was fantastic.
Yeah, I saw him play in the school footy during the week. Good size as well, so got a good one on your hands.
Unfortunately, no stats for this game, Benny. I'm not sure the camera survived down there with some rain, I'm hearing, but a bit of a tight tussle here. Robin Bale obviously at Euston for the first time in a long time. Would have wanted to get a little bit better result than what they have. Owen too good to run over the top.
Yeah, it's good to see this footy back at Euston, but yeah, obviously disappointing for Donny and his side, but I guess Owen, yeah, just starting to hit their straps as well. They've had a good off-season in the recruiting side of things, so will be another team to watch.
They are. They're certainly starting to get the ball rolling. And Robin Bale, a little bit of work to do. I still think they've got to click at some stage. They've got far too many good players, obviously bar a few injuries, to not be performing the way they'd like. A huge challenge this weekend against Moorbeen. So I'm looking forward to them potentially bouncing back.
Yeah, I think they will. It's a must-win for them.
Huge. Righto, Benny, let's take a closer look of our game of the round from last week, which it's a pleasure to have you in for because we can get all the juicy goss, mate. But that was obviously your game v South.
Yep.
Give us a rundown, mate. How did it turn out?
Yeah, it was a great contest. Both teams had a few changes going in. Beautiful conditions out at MSP.
No doubt about it.
It was challenging, but yeah, obviously, one scoring end, so both teams made the most of it, and we were in front towards the end. But yeah, a gutsy win by our boys, and yeah, proud of their efforts.
Yeah, absolutely, no doubt going in. 1 and 2, potentially looking at 1 and 3 after a bit of a shaky start to last season. Well, there must have been a little bit of doubt or pressure going into the game. How'd you handle it throughout the week?
I didn't handle it too well.
Nah. You'd be as days I reckon.
I'm pretty calm and collected, but I didn't hold my cool too well on the weekend. But look, it was an important game for us. I feel like our start hasn't really reflected our list and what we've got and what we're building. Obviously tight game against Mildura, but it was great to be on the winning side of a close game. To go 2 and 2, we've got a bye this week coming up, so we did a bit better than what we would have.
You'd certainly take 2 and 2 going into the bye, mate. That's good. Now, there's a couple of guys that we'll talk about in the division we're watching, but Montgomery, Nagel, they've obviously got a couple of recruits. Any time and effort go into those guys, or do you back your system in normally?
I'm a big believer in backing your system in, but we did go and put a bit of work into Montgomery. He went to Brander, which was probably something we weren't really expecting, but it was a good move for us. We just took him to the goal square. Montgomery still had his influence. Nagel was probably one that we had to try and stop towards the end. Jackson that was, and yeah, he was intercepting everything. Pretty scrappy footy going forward from stoppage, so he was intercepting a lot. But we always put a little bit of work into the opposition, but I like to back our boys in because, yeah.
No, well, that's good. Pretty even contest throughout the day, stats-wise and whatnot, but obviously some Montgomery 27, Nagel, Jackson that is 28. McDonald's kicked 4 for them, but your man Wally, busy.
Yep.
He had a bit of a day out, didn't he?
Yeah, they were kicking it to him early, so when that happens, it was we knew Wally's going to be up and about, but I think all the stats would be in the far end where the wind was going.
Yep.
A lot of intercept possessions. I think it was just a matter of which team made the most of it, moving the ball out of their D50 and maintaining it. But yeah, Wally had a terrific game, and it's good to see him back to his best.
He's probably I'm not going to give too much away, but we do have Big Wilbur's Defender of the Week coming up. And there may be a bit of controversy. He may or may not.
He has to get it easy, surely.
Well, that is going to take us to our next segment. And unfortunately, Will's not here to be a part of it. So I'll do my best, mate, to take this with me. But he loves his defenders. There's a couple of honourable mentions. Benny Hurley had a pretty decent game. He's been in some really ripping form for us of late. Your man Wally gets an honourable mention. Stiff. Maybe if Will had his time again.
Well, maybe if Will's not here, maybe it's my turn. My segment for today. For this
I don't mind that.
And we push. You tell who the winner is, and we might just stack him. He can come close second to Wally.
Done. Right. Well, our Defender of the Week this week is none other than Mitch Rogerson from the Mildura Football Club, who has been a little bit of a purple patch. It's actually funny. The boys down at the club don't call him a defender because they're not sure how much defending goes on. But he's stuff in the stat sheet.
It's pretty good. Yeah, I've watched a bit of your games with leading up Topo and stuff, and yeah, he doesn't defend much. But
he's had 34 disposals, 25 uncontested, 4 tackles. He's had 5 inside 50s, 3 rebound 50s, and Will's number 1 category is a win.
Yeah, no, they're pretty good numbers. I think Wally was probably a high 20s, about 10 or so, 13 intercept marks. He did do a torp right at the end of the game, so he probably cost him a spot there. Yeah, but
Wally, no torps, mate. No
Roger's going well, playing the best position on the ground.
He is, and we tell him every week. So, Mitch Rogerson from the Mildura Football Club, congratulations, mate. You are our Defender of the Week, which is good. Now, mate, we're going to take a look at a little bit of a ladder overview before we get into the nitty-gritty stuff and have a good chat with you. So as we've seen over the last couple of weeks, it's just starting to take a bit of shape. Obviously, South on top, there's a bit of a jam log, South, Merbeen and ourselves. And then it's sort of pretty even throughout there. So it's going to be pretty tight spots. Will's mentioned 7 or 8 wins, gets you into the finals.
Yep.
Any thoughts on that?
I haven't looked at it in too much depth, but it's definitely more competitive this year than previous, with obviously the influx of players and stuff like that. So it's no easy games, and there won't be any upsets, I don't think, this year. I think it's just going to be whoever's on their day to get the win.
Yeah, you guys are 4th. Oyun round out the 5. Just a little smoky on Oyun. They're travelling all right.
Yep.
Orimple, Imps, Red Cliffs, and again, Donny. Come on, it's time to get going. Down the bottom there, mate. But I just thought after 4 rounds too, we may take a quick look at the goal kicking tally, because it's pretty important. It is pretty important.
Yeah. Is that because you've kicked?
No. I did kick a couple this week, but I'm nowhere near these guys. But
I just think with the ladder as well, not every team's played an equal amount of games just yet. So once that all evens,
and I'm a big believer in everyone having to play everyone once before you sort of get a bit of an idea.
Yeah, that hurts us because we don't play Robin Bar until back after the year.
So they'll be fine.
Play them twice in 5 weeks.
They'll be fine by then. Unlucky, mate. But taking a look at those goal kickers after 4 rounds, we've got Lockyer on 14. Your mate Baranda on 14 and Big Lockyer on 12. So the big Merbeen Twin Towers getting it done. They're a handful.
They are. Lockier's he's definitely a handful, and yeah, it's good to see Corey still slotting them through. But Jared's just starting to hit his straps as well. So
he is. Yeah, he'll only get better with games rolling on, I think, which would be good. Now we do take a look at the netball competition as well, because they're going gangbusters, mate. But their ladder stands at the moment. Your girls, it's just a
standard.
Do we just lock them in every year?
I think you do.
Like it's nearly a permanent tag, is it not?
Yeah, you might as well just go.
Number one?
Number one, yep. No, Amanda's running a great program there, and they just continue to develop, and obviously young girls coming through. They've had a couple debut in the A grade as well in the first few games, so it's exciting for the club. Lost a few in the off season.
Well, that's what I was going to mention. Even though losing a few, still managed to be number one after 4 rounds.
Yeah, well, there's a fair few that were sitting waiting in the wings, and they come in and took their chance, and the girls are. We've got to catch
it. Bit of a netball factory out there, mate.
It is.
Ron Mail in second, the D sitting third, Oyun in fourth, South in 5, and then you've got Merbeen, Orimple, Imps, and Redcliffe. And we just thought we'd touch on their sharpshooters. We look at the men, so we need to follow the females as well. Amanda Edwards, no surprise there. She's got 135 for the year already. After 4 games.
Wow, she might have to shout around a bit. That's
Amanda, if you're listening,
that's impressive. But yeah, no, she's definitely that's been 4 or 5 years in a row now for Amanda. So who's second?
She's a gun. Amber King from the Mildura Football Netball Club. She's on 126, and then Emily Grave on 114. So the girls are going gangbusters there, which is great to see. But that's a bit of an overlook. We are going to go to a break, but up next we get to dive into the thick of it with Benny here, and we'll have a bit of a chat. So stay tuned.
The Footy Super Show is proudly brought to you by Ray White Mildura and Chemist Warehouse Mildura.
You know, when you're selling your home, most people focus on price, but the method of sale, that's the ingredient too many overlook. And just like every dish needs a different recipe, every property needs the right approach. Auctions create energy and competition, driving urgency and strong outcomes in the right market. Private sales offer flexibility and control, ideal for certain homes or when more time is needed. And fixed date sales, they build momentum with a clear deadline, giving buyers structure and motivation to act. Each method serves a purpose. In the end, it's the right method that brings it all together.
Discover Black Milk Specialty Coffee, Mildura's first true coffee institution, pouring premium 5 Senses coffee on our Synesso MVP machine, paired with fresh creative breakfast, brunch and lunch. Black Milk Specialty Coffee, 51 Deakin Avenue, Mildura.
Welcome to the Footy Super Show. And now, here's Will and Sam.
Welcome back to the Footy Super Show, and now we get into the nitty-gritty of it all, and what you've all been waiting for at home is a chat with our man Benny, who's stuck with us from the entire show. Mate, let's run through it because it's a pretty good resume. There's not too many in our competition that have done what you've done. Started the Bendigo Pioneers.
Yep.
Pick 55 in the rookie draft in 2006.
Yep, last pick of the draft.
If any of this is wrong, it means your Wikipedia is wrong, right? So just get on there and change it.
I'll change it, yeah.
Promoted to the main list after a brilliant year in the end of 2006 for Box Hill.
Yep.
Who was the coach at the time?
2005 in Box Hill.
2005.
Andy Collins.
Andy Collins?
Yeah. Who very influential in me getting to where I've got to, and yeah, a great coach, great developer of young men. So
it's exactly what you wanted at a VFL club, which is great.
Yep.
44 games for the Hawks.
Yep.
Traded to Sydney end of 09, where the career just went.
Yeah, it took a good turn. Yeah. It was a challenging move, but one that was, I guess, after I made my debut and wanted to play AFL footy as a young kid. Once you make that debut, and then I was wanting to extend my career and play for as long as I can. It wasn't looking good at Hawthorn at the time after missing finals in 2009 after winning it in 08. But yeah, Sydney were offering a nice 3-year deal and some security, and went up there and enjoyed the sun.
The rest is history.
Yeah, it was very good.
Good year, mate. So 120 games for the Swannies, 171 in total. That's a huge effort. For anyone at home that's played or been around the mark and knows how hard it is to get to the level. 171 from a boy from Dead.
Boy from back of Dead. No. Pretty obviously. Yeah, don't really reflect too much and too often, but yeah, proud of it, and a lot of those games were injured as well and missed a lot through injury. But yeah, it was nice to play over 10 years in AFL and get some good memories.
I wasn't going to bring the injuries up, but
that's okay. That's my story. Yeah.
There's a couple here, and the timing.
Yeah, not good.
Couldn't have been worse.
No, the 2012 was obviously the worst one.
Yeah.
So qualifying final versus Adelaide, your old mob were over there, and got pushed in the back as I was marking the footy and did the hamstring and just fell short. So redid it on the week of the grand final.
And the boys going to win.
The boys went on to beat Hawthorn. So yeah, challenging time. But yeah, we obviously got back there in 2014 and 16. So I had 2 more opportunities to win one, and we fell short, unfortunately.
So success is obviously something that follows you everywhere you go, which is good.
Yep.
How's the year been? Obviously, you've been in Wentworth now for 3 years. and been right around the mark. How are we looking forward? Where are we seeing the Wentworth Footy Club now in the future? Obviously, premierships is everything that we want to achieve.
Well, that's what you obviously want that as a for the footy club as well, but obviously for the players that put in the time and effort, and it's like they're working as well, and they give up a lot of time outside of that just as a hobby. So you really want to make sure it's a great environment for them where we can be successful but also enjoy it. But Wentworth, 2 years ago we fell short by 3 points. 3 points against Imperials. So we've got a very similar squad. I don't think we haven't lost anyone from that time. So we've gained a couple, but hopefully this group is the one that can get our next premiership.
Beautiful, man. You're obviously doing a fair bit of coaching. I know you coach a lot of the kids. You're coaching the Wenny Football Club. It's a part of your personality, and it's what you do for a living, so to speak.
Yeah.
How has your experience at AFL shaped the way that you go about your coaching? Go right.
It's a good question because I'm very different coaching to how probably people would see me play and perceive how I did play. I was pretty groomed to play an aggressive, combative style of footy, and that suited my strengths in terms of my running and hardness at the footy. Definitely still have that edge, but on the outside, I'm very reserved and quiet-natured and not a very vocal person or yell out coaching. But I like to just make sure the players have got good clarity, build relationships. But in terms of the two AFL coaches I had, Alistair Clarkson and John Longmire, they're great with their relationships. But they can give a spray or two, and I haven't reached that level yet. I was close on the weekend, but it's really helped me understand, especially going into St Kilda and being a development coach for a few years, seeing how the kids now connect with the generator, the public as well. I guess the phones play a big part in communication. There's not a lot of eye contact, and kids are a bit different these days in terms of being socially confident or awkward. Most of them are awkward. So it's just hard. Like you got to work out what's best for each individual. But it's definitely helped me going into that environment to be able to change our coaching.
Yeah, perfect, mate. Back to the Wentworth side of things, as mentioned, you guys have obviously been building nicely. Successful enough years without the ultimate tries over the last sort of couple of years. What are a couple of key areas that you've focused on to continue to drive that improvement and hunger from the boys? As you mentioned, it is obviously a bit of a tightrope between trying to make it an elite environment. And I know I struggle with this coming back to Mildura. When you do come from a higher level, you do want the standards to be here, and sometimes the expectations don't quite match up. But what are a couple of the key areas that you're keeping the focus on with the boys at the moment?
The main thing is just connection, making sure that it's an environment they all love to be involved in and get around. Really big on understanding that the club's bigger than the individual, or any individual, even myself. So making sure that we're giving back to the club, helping the volunteers, really making it a place that people want to, also for our young junior program as well, for those kids to see that our leaders or our senior players have been leaders in the public as well and around the club. But in terms of what we need to really improve on is just our connection into the forward line, which last year we had obviously no Jared, and Wade and Aaron Duck really got going towards the end of the year, but we probably struggled at the start, which hurt us a little bit. So working on that, but also just being a lot fitter and a bit more connected around the place.
Beautiful, mate. Now, before we touch on, we had Brad Balance in here the other day, and we mentioned the Redcliffe's Footy Factory and the bit of the sports program that's been run down there. But before we get into that, there's obviously plenty of young kids at home, and they obviously don't get the opportunity necessarily to speak to people that have been in your position. And I'm sure there's a lot of aspiring footballers out there, but have you got any advice for these kids, whether it be football related, life skills, or whatever it may be, that are trying to achieve that higher level?
Just don't leave no stone unturned. Don't, if there's, I'm obviously available. There's other players, Mark's done a lot of stuff as well, but speak to your coaches, make sure that if you feel like you've got the opportunity, the ability, just have a go. Don't leave it on no stone unturned. Make sure that you seek as much advice, train hard, listen to your coaches, all that. But if you want to have a crack at it, go for it.
Get after it.
Yep.
That's good, mate. Now, talk us through this Redcliffe situation. How do you three blokes end up in the same establishment?
Who's the other thing?
You, Jonah, and Brad.
Yeah, well, I can't. Two are coaches. Well, Jonah's coaching as well, so we can't really poach each other. But I know that the Imps have got a few of the Redcliffe's young players across. Yeah. Well, Jonah's obviously moved back to play and then got the job there. Brad's vice principal, and they obviously, the previous principal, it was a great initiative via the school, used to start up a sports academy. A lot of Melbourne-based and Geelong-based schools have this. It's for their kids that aren't particularly enjoy school, but obviously if they want to get into football and advance their knowledge in that game, but also the strength and conditioning. There's basketball and footy. So they don't do PE, they just do those two sports all year round. And I'm running the footy. Sammy Pelagi's doing the basketball. So it's a pretty good factor out there.
Get ready if you need.
Get ready if you
ready if you need.
If you're on the border of Orimple and Redcliffe,
yeah. Right, so I'll sign my kids up now. You'll still be there in another 10, 15 years?
Probably not. No, I feel retired.
Right, mate. That's enough of our questions. I've run a bit of a segment here on the show, which we call quick fire questions. They are brought to you by the boys down at Black Milk. So for anyone that is out and about, needs a bit of a coffee or some breakfast, get in and see the boys. They do a fantastic job. And they sponsor our segment, mate. So make sure you take that little coffee voucher down and
thanks, lad.
Treat yourself to a latte or something. But
we'll do.
It's just a couple of quick questions. I need the first answer that comes to your head, and we'll go from there.
All right, I've been trying to read that, but I haven't got my glasses on.
Well, it's funny. Everyone comes in and they try and pinch me sheet before the show happens. So
there we go.
All right, you good to go?
Yep.
Favourite footy ground to play on?
SCG.
I knew you'd say that. Toughest opponent you faced?
Joel Selwood.
That's fair. Any pre-game rituals?
Plenty, yeah.
Run us through them.
It goes. I've got an interstate pre-game and a home game because we obviously travelled.
Yeah.
This is not a one word, but we travelled every second weekend, so there's one for each. It was pretty much right down to when I woke up to run out in the ground. So I was very anal with my prep because I didn't want to have any excuses.
Same colour Gatorade, left sock, right sock,
all that.
Everything.
Yep.
Everything that works.
Everything. Same breakfast, same coffee, walk, same time, got strapped, walked on the oval at a certain time, kicked the same amount of goals before the game.
And that's why he's played 171 AFL games, guys, all right? So if you're at home watching, get a routine.
Yeah, we're a bit strange.
One word to describe your coaching style?
One word. I'd probably just say calm.
I'll be asking the Wenny boys that.
Composed.
Composed. Best player you played with?
It'd just be Buddy Franklin, but
you probably got a few.
There's
Hawthorn, Sydney.
Yeah, Luke Hodge.
Yeah,
wow. Mitchell.
Coffee order?
Adam Good.
Adam Good's. The list could go on.
It goes on.
Coffee order?
Long black.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not a dairy.
Nah.
Not a fan of dairy.
Straight up long black.
Yep.
Biggest influence on your career?
I mentioned Andy Collins earlier.
Yep.
Mum and Dad, obviously, and my family's been the main driver. But in terms of someone who really helped me, it was Richie Vandenberg. He's another local Denton Crimiella, captain of Hawthorn. So he took me in after my TAC Cup years and really helped me get to a professional level and understand what it takes.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Win by a point or win by 10 goals?
Oof. As a player or coach?
Both.
As a coach, I'd say 10 goals.
Absolutely.
Sit back and watch.
Yeah.
And seeing how you guys enjoyed the other couple of weekends ago, and it'd be great. It's great to be on the winning it
Winning
one
it,
point
one.
as a player.
Yeah, good call. Favourite Rudy?
The longest yard.
Yeah, staple answer that. And mate, one player at your club we should keep an eye on this year?
Young Archie Lattori.
He's a good size.
Yep.
Good young kid.
Great young kid. Good family.
Yeah.
He's come along. We've put him down back. We obviously went through our practice games, and when you don't have many player availability in those times, so tried him down there, and he's definitely taken it, and he's got some promise ahead.
Beautiful one to keep an eye out, mate. But you've survived our quick fire questions. Well done.
Thank you.
Big shout out to Black Milk for sponsoring that segment. Get down and get in there, but hang around because we're going to take a quick break and then we're going to come back and preview this week's round of SFNL football.
The Footy Super Show is proudly brought to you by Ray White Mildura and Chemist Warehouse Mildura.
You know, when you're selling your home, most people focus on price, but the method of sale, that's the ingredient too many overlook. And just like every dish needs a different recipe, every property needs the right approach. Auctions create energy and competition, driving urgency and strong outcomes in the right market. Private sales offer flexibility and control, ideal for certain homes or when more time is needed. And fixed date sales, they build momentum with a clear deadline, giving buyers structure and motivation to act. Each method serves a purpose. In the end, it's the right method that brings it all together.
Discover Black Milk Specialty Coffee, Mildura's first true coffee institution, pouring premium 5 senses coffee on our Synesso MVP machine, paired with fresh creative breakfast, brunch and lunch. Black Milk Specialty Coffee, 51 Deakin Avenue, Mildura.
Welcome to the Footy Super Show. And now, here's Will and Sam.
Welcome back to the Footy Super Show as we preview round 5 of the SFNL. Another couple of huge games coming up, Benny, which will be exciting. The first one, Mildura v Redcliffs. Redcliffs coming off the bye after having a really good win against Rombale.
Yeah.
But we're going along okay. Bit of work to do. We've got a couple of debutants at the moment, but it should be a good hit out down at Redcliffs.
Yep. You can never ride Redcliffs off, can you?
They're always good at home, aren't they? That hill gets fired up and away they go.
The hill's very good. Play a good, tough brand of footy. But yeah, obviously great to see you guys blooding some young kids. I'll probably have to stick with you guys though.
So you know what?
I won't get invited back.
Since Will's not here, and we'll touch on the tips a little bit later, we'll get your tips for this week and we'll check in next week and see how you went. So you're going to go with the D's?
Yeah.
Beautiful. Moving on to the next game we've got here, and I think this one's going to be an absolute cracker, and that's Rombale and Merbein.
Yeah, I think Rombale, it's a must win.
Must. Can't go on 4.
But Damien Hall's doing a great job, and it's at Kenny Park. So I'm probably going to go Merbein on this one.
Benny's gone Merbein for those at home. I'm going to go Merbein as well. I think they're just in a bit of a purple patch, and you've played enough footy to know how far confidence can go. And I think obviously Rombale lacking a little bit at the moment. A side that's up and about that hasn't been for a while is a scary thought, isn't it?
Yeah, just the way Merbein move the footy. It's hard to stop their momentum. I know Rombale is very similar, but they just got their midfield are humming at the moment, and their forward line is pretty potent. But I think it's belief is a big thing.
So we've gone the D's. We've got Merbean out at Kenny Park again, and Will and I touch on this every week, but the SFNL this year is as tight as it's ever been, and every game is an absolute cracker. We've got Owen and Sth.
Oh, that's another good, great game.
In Owen. They're up and about playing some really good footy.
Yep. Yeah, they had a good win.
Sth, we touched on last week without Nagel playing, we had a bit of a question mark.
Yeah, I think if Jordan's playing, they're definitely a better outfit, as anyone would be with their coach playing. But I'll probably go Sth on this one.
Beautiful. I'm going Sth.
I haven't seen Owen yet. I haven't watched any.
It's funny. As much as you look in Owen, they don't give away much. You can't get into their socials. You don't hear too much about them. Their recruits just come in and go home and do their thing and get out of here. So, again, another belter of a game, which would be good. But I think if Sth are the real deal and they're going in the right direction, one, they need a win without Nagel, and this would be a really good scalp for them on the road. Yeah, they definitely, what they've brought in, they need to win these ones, but also Owen, will have a lot of confidence after last week. They will, absolutely. And then that brings us to our game of the round, mate. Every week we put a game of the round in, and this week it is the Imps v Orimple. Both going okay. Imps have obviously just starting to play some consistent footy. Bit of a slow start without having any games and a bit of a split round and whatnot. And Orimple have more injuries than they know what to do with. So another cracking contest on their hands here. Yeah, we had a similar draw to Imps last year, and when teams have had a game before you, and it definitely does play an effect. I probably wouldn't be able to go to the in-laws for dinner, mate, if I didn't go for Imps. So I'll pick Imps. I think they're going to get a run on. Again, they've got the new players in that they're starting to gel. And unfortunately for Orimple, injuries to some key players. But Imps for me. Imps for you. All right, well, I'm going Orimple. All right. So we'll check in next week. I'll give you a coffee. Coffee voucher on it? Yeah. Not the voucher. That's more than a coffee. Yeah. We'll put a coffee on it. Right, you at home heard it here first. So that'd be exciting. But that is our match of the round, which will be a really cracking game. But we just want to touch on our tips, mate. And I'm not sure if you're aware, but Will and I have been going back and forth the entire season so far on our tips. And we've been pretty level pegging. But the weekend may have just broke the camel's back, so to speak, because I went 4 from 4 and he went 0 from 4. Okay. So I've taken a 4-point lead essentially. Yeah, can't. This early in the season. Can't lose from here then. Is that what you're saying? Well, I didn't say it, but it's great that you backed us. Yeah. I'm going to have to have a chat with Will about because the consequence for the loser is, like, we're talking potential tattoo type scenario or something quite significant. Dan does footy kind of set up. Yeah, maybe not that bad or that big, but I think the big fella's a little bit nervous. He's chopped 4, so I might just copy his tips from here on in, and then I can't lose. So that might be a bit of a plan. But that's our tips at home. I'm up and about, which is great. Mate, thanks for coming in. We obviously appreciate you obviously being our guest. Having someone of your calibre come in and being able to talk to us and answer our questions has been fantastic. Thanks for helping out and doing the show. No, Will's tucked up at home in bed with a few tissues and looking after himself. But if he's not careful, mate, you might have a permanent seat. So, well, I might come back in and take the Defender of the Week. Yeah. If he keeps dishing up that, I'll Andy will every day of the week on the weekend. But it's been a pleasure. Thanks for having me on. Thanks for coming in, mate. That pretty much wraps up our show for episode 6. We look forward to coming here next week and discussing all things footy. If you do want to find us, www.suncitystreaming.com.au. You can find all our episodes up on there. A huge shout out to SFNL and their naming rights sponsor, Barry Plant, for the visions throughout the show. Thanks again. See you all guys next week.
The Footy Super Show is proudly brought to you by Ray White Mildura and Chemist Warehouse Mildura.
You know, when you're selling your home, most people focus on price, but the method of sale, that's the ingredient too many overlook. And just like every dish needs a different recipe, every property needs the right approach. Auctions create energy and competition, driving urgency and strong outcomes in the right market. Private sales offer flexibility and control, ideal for certain homes or when more time is needed. And fixed date sales, they build momentum with a clear deadline, giving buyers structure and motivation to act. Each method serves a purpose. In the end, it's the right method that brings it all together.
Discover Black Milk Specialty Coffee, Mildura's first true coffee institution, pouring premium 5 senses coffee on our Sth MVP machine, paired with fresh creative breakfast, brunch and lunch. Black Milk Specialty Coffee, 51 Deakin Avenue, Mildura.
Sun City Streaming thanks our wonderful sponsors for their generous support for our community YouTube channel and the Footy Super Show. Tesco Inland Petroleum, Ray White Mildura, Chemist Warehouse Mildura, and Fisher Developments.